It does take away some of the enjoyment for me. We're in such a race to stick, and not just Mahomes. Whether it's, remember when Rory won, 3 majors out of maybe he's going to beat Jack's record, and he basically hasn't won since. He's won I think he's got 4, maybe one since. We're in such a rush to microwave these careers. Just let it marinate, and can we enjoy it while it's in front of us?
Yeah, no.
Can we do this?
And they're so different. Like just the nature of their success, their early success. Like you could point to some of the Super Bowls that Tom Brady won early, but I mean, we were just watching it yesterday, BT. We had it here on the NFL Network.
The Raiders game?
Yeah, the Raiders game, which was the Tuck Rule game, which was the beginning of their dynasty, basically.
Even that was lucky. Tom Brady got on the field by luck because Mo Lewis hurt Bledsoe,
that's right, but
and they won their first championship because of luck.
So think about Tom Brady's path, right? He got.
I'm still bitter.
He got on the field because of the quarterback in front of him goes down, right? He's not great at all, by any stretch of the imagination. When he threw for like 2,600 yards or something like that. Who knows what
pedestrian.
It was? He was pedestrian. They got it done with defense and a pretty good running game.
Great kicker.
Adam Vinatieri was the man. The reason that Adam Vinatieri is going to be a Hall of Famer, maybe even first ballot, probably not because they don't do that for kickers, but if there is going to be one for a kicker, it would be him.
Agreed.
Is because he made every clutch kick in every single game, including that Tuck Rule game where he kicked, with 13 seconds left, the game tying field goal, and then in overtime they just methodically took the ball down the field and he kicked the game-winning field goal. He won a Super Bowl against the Panthers with a kick. It wasn't all Brady.
No,
you know what I mean?
No,
early on.
No.
Whereas early on with Pat Mahomes, it's been a lot of Pat Mahomes. I know they've had some good role players on that squad, but it's been Pat Mahomes being ridiculous, winning MVPs, winning Super Bowl MVPs, doing things that we just don't see quarterbacks do, from basically low look passes to left-handed passes, underhand shovels, whatever it takes. Pat Mahomes has been magical in his early stages of his career. And that's why he got rewarded by a $500 million contract. It's going to keep him there. Tom Brady wasn't that guy. I mean, you probably could have thought at some point early in his career, even though he was winning a couple Super Bowls, when is this going to expire for Tom Brady? When is the team around him going to get not good, and he's not going to be able to be this dominant in the AFC East and in the AFC and then winning Super Bowls? But to Tom's credit, he kept evolving. Like, he didn't rest on the laurels of the team being successful, and he turned into this elite GOAT that he is now. Pat Mahomes is kind of already at that wannabe GOAT stage. He just got to prove it over the length of time that Tom has now done it.
Well, to your point, I mean, early on, and this is actually remarkable. This brings us into, well into his 30s, all right? So I'm going to, for timing purposes, I'll try to do this quick. What I'm about to rip through is the touchdown to pick ratio in the playoffs for Tom Brady. Okay, not every year, obviously, but 1-to-1, 5-to-2, 5-to-zip. 2004 was really good. 4-to-2, 5-to-4, 6-to-3, 2-to-3, 2-to-1, 8-to-4, 4-to-2, 1-to-zip.
Yeah.
I mean, good.
Yeah.
Not what Mahomes was doing or is doing.
Nothing that's jumping off the page like this dude is dominant.
No. We even started to do this with Ben Simmons. Oh, he's Magic Johnson. Why? Because he's 6'10"? 6'11", actually.
Yeah. He's a good distributor of the ball.
No, I get it.
He's a good at the rim. Not even really at the rim.
Magic wasn't even a great finisher at the rim. I mean, Ben's a very good finisher at the rim. No, he's a great finisher at the rim. He finishes.
He's a good dunker.
He finishes.
He's a good dunker at the rim.
Don't be fooled by that pass when he finishes at the rim when he doesn't dunk.
I'm not fooled by that because I've seen it enough. Like he doesn't have confidence. He makes shots. I'll give him that. But there's no move. Like he doesn't have post moves. He's not down there like against a smaller defender, I don't know, Deacon going one way, coming back.
Baby hooks. No, I agree with that, actually. I meant more transition. That's true. You're right. I agree with that.
In transition, he's scoring all day.
Yeah.
Right? If he catches you, like, extended a little bit and he has an edge on you.
Turns the corner.
He's turning the corner. There's nothing you can do.
Yep.
Right? But he doesn't have post moves. And so, yes, he's a good at the rim scorer, but there's no way he's close to elite.
No, but even think about yesterday's, and these are just random examples I'm pulling now. What Shohei Ohtani is doing deserves far more consideration on the national airwaves. I mean, even early on, Ben Simmons could. Well, then Magic was always a great free throw shooter, but as we got into the Simmons Magic stuff, that seemed a little far fetched early, especially now. Maybe more realistic then in real time, but the Ohtani Babe Ruth stuff. Here we are. We spent 20 minutes talking about Shohei Ohtani and Babe Ruth yesterday.
Right.
And I said, and I'll stand by this, even though a lot of people disagree, and obviously Mike Trout is hurt. Right now, Shohei Ohtani is the best player on the team. But a lot of people can say, or have said, whether it's reacting to our clips on Twitter, YouTube, whatever. I mean, listen, Mike Trout's still the best player in the game. I believe that right now, and again, obviously Trout's hurt, but Mike Trout's not hitting 60 home runs.
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani might. And if he doesn't hit 60, he's going to hit 50.
That's right.
And he's certainly not pitching like Shohei is.
And he's been healthy, at least arm, meaning UCL, notwithstanding. He's been healthy.
Yeah, he has been. But it disturbs me. It bothers me when... I don't know why we do it. I understand player comps. We've been doing that forever.
Yeah.
You see a kid in college, Cade Cunningham, who's your... I'm not talking about player comps.
Yeah.
I'm talking about taking 3 years, sometimes even 2 years, or a year of a player's career, looking at it, and trying to draw a parallel to the greatest player of all time.
I think it... Come on! I think it might start... because we want to create an expectation for some of these kids, right? And think about so when I was down in Philly for that game, Philadelphia for the 76ers game, I did an interview. Well, we interviewed Scott O'Neal on air.
Yep.
Scott O'Neal has subsequently left.
I didn't even realize he left
the 76ers.
Did he really?
Yeah, I talked to him.
I may have been on vacation.
You were.
I didn't even realize
he
that.
left the 76ers.
Wow.
I said, what are you doing next?
Where's he going?
He's in Mozambique right now.
Yeah. Look at him, Scotty.
No, he's doing good things, like helping out, philanthropically or altruistically in some way. Then he's going to come back and figure out what he wants to do next, do something else great, who knows. But when we were talking to Scott O'Neal, I remember you asked him about Ben Simmons.
Oh, I did.
Right?
And I pushed back, too.
And you did push back. And in his mind, he was saying, Ben Simmons does this and this and this and this. And this is why we love him, even though he's not a shooter, and even though he doesn't even attempt three-point shots, and is in marginal score. But look at how great he is at facilitating this offense.
Yeah.
But for us, like on the outside, not homerish, we need to set an expectation for Ben Simmons. I don't know what he could be or what he should be, and so we tend to grasp for those comparisons of who he looks like. So. Oh, he could be like Magic. So let's compare him to Magic. He's not quite Magic.
No, he's not.
Let's compare him to, I don't know.
There's no other comparison.
That's probably the problem. And so
Lamar Odom can handle, but Lamar Odom could shoot. I don't see. There's no player comp to me.
I think we do this because we want to set an expectation for these kids who are still young, who we know are going to be great. So Patrick Mahomes, we know he's already great, but we know he's going to be great. He won an MVP at 24 years old, right? We know he's going to be great. But how great, and what should we be looking for? What's his target that if he starts to miss, we can criticize him on? And so the only one to go for him, because who's done things that people just don't do at his age, win a Super Bowl, win an MVP, and you're third in 3 seasons, is go for the top. So you go for the GOAT. And so that's why that question gets asked.
But you can't go for the GOAT when you just lost to him. The timing makes no sense.
I agree with you.
You just lost to Tom Brady.
And convincingly lost to him.
Yes, you lost to him.
Yeah.
Tom Brady was great. You weren't.
That's right.
Now, you're also a little bit banged up, Mahomes, but you lost.
You know what? But you know what I take away, not to rehash the Super Bowl? Yeah. It felt like, so I think this Tom Brady has been doing this for a decade plus now. He's just always in control. Right. Other than that silly, it's 4th down, right? That whole thing where he's throwing up the.
Oh yeah. I think he copped to that later on.
He did. But absent that, you never see him out of control.
No, you don't.
Lost. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm panicking. You never see that. In this past Super Bowl between the Buccaneers and the Kansas City Chiefs, Pat Mahomes, even though we were evaluating it as him trying to make great plays, was panicking. Like, he was really panicking out on the field, and it's one of the reasons that the Kansas City Chiefs couldn't make the comeback against the Buccaneers, who were just clicking on all cylinders. And so, yeah, when you talk about the comparison, Tom Brady and Pat Mahomes has been great, but he doesn't have that Brady gene yet, where he doesn't panic given the situation.
No, he's a little frenetic at times.
Even if he's down by two scores, Brady doesn't panic.
No.
Mahomes was panicking in the Super Bowl, and you could see it. He was trying to do heroic things that ultimately led to his team not having a chance.
Well, think about this. It's so funny, too, because we tend to harp on and probably overinflate, and this is independent of Mahomes. Mahomes is going to go down as an all-time great, but just in general here. Maybe overinflate the strengths and certainly marginalize weaknesses, right? You talk about that gene when things go awry, that you can click it and slow down the heartbeat, and Mahomes might get that, he might not. But to me, it's like, you meet a girl, you sit down for a beer with your best buddy. Hey, man, I met the one. Really? What's you all about? I'm talking about your first meet her, and you first tell your boy, or you tell Rondé, whatever. He said, well, she's smart, and I think she's going to be a good mom, and we share the same political views, and we share the same religious thoughts, and you're like, all right, yeah, but do you love her? I mean, all right, great. I mean, you're kind of talking around the equation here. So she's smart, and you think she's going to be a good mom, but do you really love her? You know what I mean? And I think a lot of times we talk about these players, and we tend to leave out the one thing, to your point, that we should probably, and I don't mean overly belabor, but we kind of gloss over it, or in some cases just push it aside, and that's really where the story is.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's a good point.
That's where the story is.
Yeah, you're right.
Because that will determine really history.
Yeah.